Hot off 2 games about a duck and a fan game starring himself, the young JSH finally felt ready to make a game that did not involve ducks or himself. That game was Pixilation. What if your computer wasn't just a cold, unfeeling collection of components doing their job? What if even the simplest pixel had dreams and aspirations beyond its established role? The young JSH felt prepared to send players tumbling down the stairway of enlightenment with this horizon-broadening setting. A red pixel named Herbie takes the lead role. Unlike other pixels, he was born with RAM, which grants him intelligence. The plot begins with Herbie being sent to see the mayor, a mayor he didn't even know existed. Once there, he meets another intelligent pixel named Sukugu? Sahara? She convinces our apathetic hero to set out with her to stop another intelligent pixel named Casey, who plans to conquer the world. Sahara has reasons of her own for the adventure, specifically a date with a pixel she just met. Our heroes set out to the Green Link, and I miss the ducks. Who's there?
Good day. Is JSH 357 home, sir?
What's this about? That boy doesn't have any friends.
I'm here to talk about Pixilation, sir.
I don't know what crazy church you came from, but in this household, we worship Jesus. The battles start off on a frustrating note with invisible gray pixels that you only deal 1 damage to. Intrepid players dig into Herbie's enormous spell menu, a trademark of JSH's, and figure out that only spell damage works on them. This is an almost shocking amount of game design on display. The 2 arrive at Casey's castle, where another intelligent pixel meets up with them to take Casey down. After walking right past the 5 preliminary battles that JSH didn't bother to put walls around, they fight Casey to have the incredibly sudden realization that Casey isn't evil because she said ouch. Sahara runs off and they have to backtrack through JSH's stimulating dungeon designs and... Giz, I need a duck. Giz! Thank you, Giz. The plot never goes anywhere. Ever. Sahara is rescued from an ambiguous threat, and the party proceeds to steamroll over the 4 evil intelligent pixels who attack them for absolutely no reason at all. The game attempts to excuse those actions through the plot device of the computer being shut down. Due to this, the evil pixels want to be the only ones left standing, but this has little merit in itself. They survive by virtue of being blessed with RAM regardless. The plot is contrived, and even the characters know it. Somehow, that makes it worse.
JSH 357, I'm doing a presentation about Pixilation, and with you being such an expert in the field, your input would be greatly appreciated.
Well, I'd be honored to help you. To be honest, I was scared to death. Only my 4th game, and I was already being interviewed by academia? It felt amazing. I was on track to being a real game designer.
The game itself is fairly well balanced since level ups only increase HP and spells. All other statistics are determined by a single piece of equipment. The game breaks down into a simple pattern of traverse dungeon, grind enough money for equipment, and take down the area's boss. Some of the bosses require using your enormous list of spells to even have a fighting chance. The graphics make it impossible to ascertain any of the spell's effects, so picking spells based on the virtue of having effective sounding names is the ideal strategy. It's a cut above most OHR RPG CE battle systems, but remains far from entertainment. One of the most remarkable portions of the game is where the young JSH briefly manages to create atmosphere. While every other area in the game consists entirely of brightly colored scenery with bouncing music, the sudden contrast of the blood-red virus dungeon, composed with only a pounding drum in the background, is very impressive. That is, until the spell is broken with more battle music.
So, tell me about the process of pixelation.
Well, what?
Well, you know, converting an image to pixel format.
He never called back.
The game contains so many glitches, it's hard to tell whether they're intentional or backwards compatibility problems with the OHR RPG CE. Using a boost spell reduces your attack damage to 1. The final store in the game sells weaker weapons than the previous shop. Using a speed up spell can cause the entire party to freeze except for your berserked character. The item to revive dead party members doesn't actually work. The main character is easily lost among identical NPCs and red tiles. The exit from the final dungeon warps you into a wall. A wall! Right after fighting a long as hell boss! Giz! Giz, I did it! Thank you, Giz. Throughout the entire game, Herbie is a grating jackass while being compared to Final Fantasy VII's apathetic Cloud, fighting Final Fantasy VIII's whiny Squall, and finally ends the game in a spectacularly anticlimactic fashion that feels like it's slapping the player for playing it. You can never tell if it's trying to parody Final Fantasy or just being a jerk. If Duck and MJ is JSH's love letter to Earthbound, then Pixilation is his hate mail to Final Fantasy.